Hey, this is Elyse, and this is a lower body strength and stretch video. All you need is yourself and a yoga mat or something to lie down on. So start on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat. We're going to warm up with some pelvic tilts and tucks. So you can place your hands on your low belly or down by your sides. You're going to arch your back away from the floor so that there's space between your low back and the floor. And then you're going to do the opposite. You'll press your low back down into the floor for the pelvic tuck. So go back and forth between those two positions. I like to also coordinate the breath with this movement so that when I inhale, I'm going into that arch where the low back is away from the floor. And then as I exhale, I'm going into the tuck where the belly button's dropping a little bit more down towards the spine, and you feel like your abdominals are really engaged and connected to create that movement. So go back and forth about 10 times with this movement. You can try and see if you can coordinate your breath by inhaling as you tilt and exhaling as you tuck. Notice what's going on in the rest of your body, if you can relax your shoulders, neck, and head as you're lying down on the floor here. Sometimes for me, when I have an achy low back, this feels like a really great lower back massage, even though it's such a simple movement. So increase your awareness of the sensations that are going on in your body as you do this. Okay, so we're gonna go on to rocket kicks. You are simply going to lift your leg up and extend your toes up towards the ceiling or the sky. You'll rebend your knee to put your foot back down on the floor in the starting position. So you're going to alternate legs like this about 10 times. And it doesn't have to be your highest rocket kick ever. It's really not about going for a deep hamstring stretch. It's more about warming up through the backs of your legs, around your hips for some moves that we're going to do in just a second. So focus on energizing your leg instead of really finding that deep stretch. Okay. So now bring your heels in close to your hips so that with your arms on the floor, you could almost graze your heels with your fingertips. And then you're going to press down into your feet and lift your hips up for a bridge. You'll crease at your hips to come right back down to the floor. So again, you're going to go for about 10 reps of these. You're pressing down through your heels and lifting your hips up high, like as if you could make one straight line from your knees to your shoulders in that bridge position. Now, sometimes what happens is your knees might want to wobble out or in while you do this. Try and see if you can keep your knees directly in line with your ankles so they're not going out to the sides as you lift your hips up. Good. And see if you can get your hips really high out towards the ceiling. In order to do that, you might have to think about putting a little extra weight down through your heels and engaging the back of your legs, your hamstrings, and your glutes in order to make that happen. Okay, do about one more rep here, and then we're going to put this bridge together with the previous rocket kick. So I'll show you what that looks like. You're going to come up into the bridge and hold your hips up high. Then you're going to lift one leg up to the ceiling and bring it back down. You'll alternate like that, so the other leg goes up and come on back down. So keep on going like this for a total of 10 times. Now, you'll probably notice that when you lift one leg up, your stabilizing leg might get a little wobbly, and you want to look out for that same thing that I mentioned before, that your knee isn't going out to the side or dipping in, but it's staying right in line with your ankle. When one leg lifts up, you can imagine that it's still helping to support so that you have extra power through the stabilizing leg helping you out. Keep your hips up nice and high till the very end. They're going to want to dip down. I know mine did a little bit, but use your glutes to keep you up there. Good. Okay, now you can come down, and we're going to go on to a new exercise. Okay, so starting like we did before, you're going to lift your hips back up into the bridge. You'll extend one leg straight up to the ceiling. Now, you're going to keep your leg straight this time, lower down to the height of your opposite knee, and then lift it back up towards the ceiling. You're going to keep your hips up high the whole time. So the same exact rules apply as before. Your stabilizing knee is going to stay directly over your ankle, and your hips, you're really working through your stabilizing hamstring and both sides of your pelvis to keep your hips up really high while you do the lower and the lift. Energize through your extended leg, so you could point your toes so you really feel like your whole leg, almost like a ballerina, is really lengthening and engaged as you do this motion. After you do your 10 reps here, you're going to lower down, and then you can switch over to the other side. So take a little rest. You can shake out your legs if you need to, and then you're going to go right back in for that same exact exercise, the bridge with the lower and left on your other side. Okay, now that this side has a little bit more information because it's already done it once, now you can increase your awareness of what's going on in the rest of your body. Is your stabilizing foot trying to grip into the floor? Are your shoulders trying to like hunch up towards your ears? Even though your body weight, you kind of have some pressure on your shoulder girdle, you can still draw your shoulder blades down your back and have your both sides of your neck feel like they have equal length on both sides. And then relax any tense muscles in your face. Make sure you're breathing. You're going to do 10 times on this side, and then we're going to go into some stretching and lengthening moves. Good. So just bring your knees into your chest here. You can give your knees a good squeeze into your chest and feel like you can release your lower back and your glutes a little bit after all those bridges. And then you're going to go into a figure 4 stretch. So you'll take one ankle and cross it over the opposite thigh. You can keep your top foot flexed and try and keep your hips connected to the floor, connected to your yoga mat, so they're not lifting up off the floor. Good. Switch sides. If you feel like your head is pulling away from the floor, grab a pillow or fold your yoga mat or a blanket and just put it underneath your head. Okay, so now extend one leg straight up to the ceiling and create a little hammock with your hands behind your thighs. So you can interlace your fingers and have your thigh resting into your hands. You can keep your ankle directly above your hip for 90 degrees, or if you feel comfortable, you can reach your leg a little bit closer to your stretch for a deeper hamstring stretch. Wherever you are, you're going to start to flex and point your foot. So flexing is when your toes get closer towards your shin and you feel like you can extend energy out your heel. And pointing is when your toes are reaching up towards the ceiling like a ballerina leg again. Good. Okay, so do this same exact thing on the other side. You'll extend your leg either 90 degrees or with a little bit more of a hamstring stretch and find the flex and point through your foot. And this is the last thing that we have in this workout today. So while you're here, start to just notice any inner dialogue that you're having now or that has come up for you throughout these 9 minutes we've been moving together. And just simply notice and be curious about what has come up. What have you been saying about yourself to yourself? Like maybe this is really hard, or this is really easy, or I wish I was more flexible, or anything like that has come up. Just be curious and notice what those things are. See if maybe you can give yourself some acknowledgement for all the work that you just did by getting on your mat today. And let's take one breath together to finish. So you're going to inhale, lift your arms all the way up above your head, bring your palms together right over your heart, and here, thank yourself for showing up and gifting yourself this time for your body and your mind today. Wonderful job.